Action activate. Is that it? Welcome aboard once again. I'm Gazbot, and this, well, it's Action Activate. Now, if I'm Gazbot, and this is Action Activate, well, then we must have another member, and that member is...
It is the big Dawg Defender, ready to talk about toys, shout out Toy Galaxy, and it's been a little bit for us, not as long for you guys, but we haven't spoken Power Rangers toys, anything like this in 2 weeks now. It feels like a lifetime.
We pre-recorded that Halloween episode, so we had a week off. And you did not. So, yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing. We were talking about what we wanted to do. We're going to have more SPD episodes coming up, but we got to catch up. And we were talking about, like, oh, what's another hiatus thing we could do? And there have been a few requests for a Lightning Collection one again. But here's the funny thing, though. I've been kind of crazy busy with real life stuff. And I haven't been keeping up as much as I think other people have or whatever. And I've heard a few things, but I don't know what the cutting edge newest stuff is. So I said to the big dog, I'm like, okay, well, we'll do that, because he was like, why don't we do that? I'm like, fine, but send me some links. And originally my plan was to look at the links and catch up and so we're on the same page. I didn't. What I've done is open all the links on the other screen, which we could share so that we'll go through each one and I'll be looking at them fresh, just like the audience. And so you're coming at it from a point of view of you're ready, everything. And I'm like, what's going on every time?
Most of the stuff. Like a lot of it is stuff that you've either heard of and have pictures or like we've seen through our social medias, and we just haven't formally sat down and been like, so what are these rumors for Wave 1987 or whatever?
Well, okay, so that is what we're talking about. We're talking about Lightning. This is all Lightning Collection news. It's all going to be all Lightning Collection. If that doesn't interest you, tune out, because that's all we're going to really get. Maybe a little bit of comics at the end. I think Big Dog wanted to say something about comics, but that's pretty much it this episode. Next week we'll be back. I don't want to say SPD, possibly SPD, but if not, it'll be something other than toys. It'll be some other thing. We'll figure it out. Let me go ahead and do this.
Yeah, as you get that going. So we're going to start off, unfortunately, with some of the bad for Lightning Collection. Gazbot's pulling up the villain stuff that we'll hop into for a sec. But in real time, Power Rangers, if you're watching in America, not cheating the system news, the Dino Crossover finally aired and finished. For those of you catching it for the first time, let us know down below what you thought. Watching it either again or for the first time, what you think. If you haven't seen our review of it, highly recommend you go back. We definitely had some things to say, some excitement.
If you did wait, I'm curious to know why you waited. And if you didn't wait, I'm curious to know why you didn't wait. Because we didn't wait, and we've expressed that again in past episodes why we didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one is right or wrong, but I am curious. I'm actually more curious, if I'm being honest, the people that decided to wait, because it was so crazy spoilery. And if maybe you just didn't have the ability to, but I'm curious to who waited, why you didn't wait. That would interest me. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? We're here to talk about news and toys. Let's talk about these toys. So
this first link are these have already been announced officially. So what are we looking at?
So what we're looking at is the 2 villain figures that are deluxes.
Yeah.
So these went up for pre-order, I believe, a week or so ago. Now we have King Sphinx, which we have here, and we have Pumpkin Wrapper. Now here is the problem.
I see.
King Sphinx one more time, just on the package of the box. These are in hand. What is the problem here? There are about 3 brush strokes of paint on that guy. If you look at the picture on the right and on the left, it's like a before and after photo, but in the worst way for us.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to be critiquing. Yes, this is terrible. I think it's weird because I think the omissions on King Sphinx are more glaring, specifically the nose. You could argue the mouth doesn't have to be black, but like the nose has to be black. You could argue that his are more glaring, but I think Pumpkin Wrapper looks worse.
So here's the thing with Pumpkin Wrapper. So There are some Pumpkin Raptor is the most contested in this kind of conversation just because King Sphinx, it's very clear what's missing.
Right.
Pumpkin Raptor, you look at the image on the right, you're like, wow, there's a lot of black wash, a lot of black paint missing. But some people have shown from the Sentai footage in Power Rangers there
is no Sentai of Pumpkin Raptor. He was American.
Oh, there isn't? I thought
he was
there
U2. He was U2.
Oh, okay.
Japanese footage for an American audience is my understanding.
Right.
If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, but that was my understanding.
Ninja Steel to you. There you go. But with the Zoo 2 footage and the Power Rangers footage, with that, a lot of what we're thinking was dark is actually just shadow, and it's actually not painted black.
I agree. And like even the illustration here, it's the artist using artistic license to fill it in. That being said,
do it.
Fill it in. It's a shadow. Color it like a shadow because it's not as deep as it would be in the real life prop. So you're not get those shadows naturally. You have to color them in. And like if they just did the mouth and the eyes and the little like seam down the chest, that would do wonders. And if they weren't going to do that, put a dark brown wash or something to pop the colors of, because it's just, this is why I say King Sphinx is more, it's an objective omission. Whereas this, you're right, it could be argued, but this looks worse because there's only two colors.
Yeah.
There's only two. So you got to do something. Whereas King Sphinx, at least, yeah, he's missing stuff, but he's got a few different colors. He's got some other stuff going on.
So go to the right, though. These wings look like absolute hot garbage with nothing on them. This looks like a prototype in the worst way.
They both look like prototypes.
Yeah.
I won't be buying either of them unless they're on sale, and even then, I'm not sure.
I'm with you. I'm more sure on sale just because I want them, but part of me wants to, like, here's the problem. I want to send a message to Hasbro other than them just tapping our devices like we've talked about allegedly. And I really want to show them, like, I'm not going to settle for this. Like, you need to do a reissue. You need to do something. You need to make something right for this. This isn't right. Like, I'm curious if we didn't have the debacle with Dino Thunder White that we did, if people would be more upset or less upset. To me, I'm more upset because that was such a glaring issue, and they fixed it. Mostly. And then after that, well,
so does that mean that we'll be able to send in the King Sphinx head or get a new King
That's
Sphinx
what I'm saying. Like, they've set the precedent of, we goofed, we get it, here's our way of rectifying it. Good on you, Hasbro.
If they consider it a goof. If they consider it a goof, sure. But they might have be like, no, that's a decision to keep it at a price point. We decided this, you know, which in a normal kids line for Beast Morphers or Dino Fury or whatever, that's acceptable because they're for kids. You're just trying to hit a certain price point. And kids aren't going to notice as much. But if it's an adult collectible, and this one's even more, they're the deluxe. So they're even, I think, what's the price point? $25-$30. It's more than the regular.
It's like 30 or 35. Yeah.
Then it's unacceptable. Yep. Like, so if it's not a mistake, if it's a mistake, they need to fix it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's weird because King Sphinx, it's more of an objective mistake. But I think Pumpkin Rapper looks worse because he has so little color to work with to begin with that it just is more glaring.
Between the two, I'm more tempted to get Pumpkin Rapper.
Not me. I mean, the exact opposite.
I love those pumpkins, which is part of my driving factor.
Sure, that makes sense. I prefer King Sphinx as a monster, and worst case scenario, I could take a Sharpie and color his nose in. You know,
so give me a one shot really quick. So I brought some props to kind of illustrate my frustrations, if you will. Here we go. So I'm going to go chronologically. Okay. I have a couple figures here. Most of them are Bandai, just because that's what we're used to for Power Rangers. So here, I have an original monster from Bandai, 93, 94 era, something like that. Pretty basic in terms of paint.
That's an evil space alien.
Thank you. but as you can see, even from here, you're like, he probably is cheaper, but they did him right. He's got limited articulation. The price point obviously dictates a lot of this. They're not going, this is deluxe, pay more for it. Like, that's my point. It's a vinyl with, you know, a little bit extra.
It's made for kids to bash into each other and put in the sandbox and whatever else.
Exactly. So we have that. Going forward in time a little bit, we have a Korag right here. This is beautiful paint. This just puts everything we just looked at to shame. And this is a basic quote unquote figure. This is superb, spectacular. Nice. Get back to this, please, Hasbro, even though you didn't do it the first time. Then, kind of moving forward, we're in the modern era. This is within the last 3 years for each thing. We have Psycho Blue. You can't see his face. There we go. Psycho Blue.
Yep.
Awesome. Different company, same era. We have a Diamond Select Pacific Rim. Now this,
Diamond Select Pacific Rim, though?
because the price point. This is deluxe.
Okay.
It's more than a $20 figure. It's going to be a little bit bigger, but from an American company, we know the expectations. This is superb. This is the same. This is essentially what we're competing with. A Diamond Select figure at this price point, at this scale, is what they're essentially selling with these monsters. And this just night and day puts them to shame. And this came out, what, 3 years ago?
I think, yes, I agree with you. I'm imagining part of that has to do with quantity. Pacific Rim, whatever you think of it, had a much bigger reach than classic Power Rangers villains.
I don't know.
It was in comic stores and bookstores and like everybody has
so these aren't comic and bookstores.
I don't see these figures in comic book stores.
You go to one comic book store that I go to and they don't buy a lot of figures.
Before COVID, I've gone to many comic book stores. I maybe somebody in the comments could clarify, but I think the Pacific Rim, when it came out and was fresh, was had much more awareness in the world and a bit like, I think Diamond made, I'm making up numbers here, but I'm going to say Diamond made 1 million of that figure and Hasbro made like 50,000, 100,000 of King Sphinx. These are not real numbers. I'm making them up, but assuming Diamond made more, which is my hypothesis, they cost less per unit. Therefore they could put more into them. Whereas if Hasbro's making less, then they can't put more into them for the same.
Here's my question for this Pacific Rim figure. Was it available at Walmart?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I don't know.
No. Was it available at Target? No. Was it available at Toys R Us? Sometimes. Hasbro's are in all of those stores. So I would argue that is greater distribution than this, whereas this was in specialty shops.
Yeah, but that was
one of the only places you could get it, whereas Hasbro's is meant to be mainstream.
Yes, but mainstream now is just Target and Walmart. There is no Toys R Us. That's a huge, big deal.
Yeah, but if Toys R Us was around, it would be the same thing. This barely was in Toys R Us. Sometimes it's in Walgreens.
Neither of us have facts right here. So we should just move
I have more facts than you.
No, you don't. We're both kind of making educated guesses, but we don't really know.
Right here, finishing it off, here is a Hasbro putty. It has the paintwork here. It should have more wash on these weapons, but I'll let it go because it kind of works. And it's pretty basic. This still looks better. Look, they even bothered to paint the mouth, and they sell this for half the price on Hasbro Pulse versus this deluxe figure. You can't. I'm frustrated with you, Hasbro. You need to fix this.
Yeah, and I'm not defending the choice. I'm just saying I'm not defending the choice. I was just I'll let it go. I don't want to start arguing again.
So that was the negative. We got it out of the way.
Okay.
Let's move on to one of the other tabs and take it away, Gazbot.
All right. So again, we're looking at Toku Nation. If I didn't say that before, these are the Hero 2-packs, which is clearly where they're putting the money.
My God. They're so great. Look at this. Look at this. For $10 more, you could have everything you could ever want more versus those dumb monsters. I'm sorry.
And we're even getting a villain, Astronema, probably one of the most wanted villains ever. I mean, certainly on my top list. Oops, sorry, I skipped ahead.
Look at that head sculpt.
And the Andros looks good too.
Great.
The likeness, I think, is fair. It's not terrible. It's not great. I think it's fine.
I think he looks more like Andros in my mind than he looks like Christopher Kamen Lee, which is totally fine with me.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. And yeah, this armored version, I kind of would have preferred the pink purple hair, but that's just my own personal taste.
Yeah.
What I hope is, here's the thing. I don't want them to repack these as individual figures, but they're probably going to at some point because that's what they've been doing. Yeah. So if they do that, my hope is that they give her a different head and hair at least.
Pause right here. Do you notice the difference in ab crunch?
It's kind of down in her hip.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. So I think she has a diaphragm joint and she has that lower pelvis.
Hold on. His kind of goes, he has the crunch right above the belt, and then he has like under the pec rib cage line.
I guess they all have it. Hers just seems so much more pronounced
because she doesn't have the belt.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's slightly different because she's a female figure, but no. And I like the energy effect. Yeah, and you get the spiral saber. The only complaint, I believe that the blue on his gun should be darker. I could be wrong about that, but it looks light to me.
It does look a little bit light, but I finally get a spiral saber, so I'm happy.
Well, I said the only complaint is that might be off, but no, that set's great. I will be getting that set, unlike the monsters.
100%, yes.
Yeah. And speaking of sets, the next set, which is very timely since we're doing so much SPD, it is a 2-pack. It isn't Red Ranger, which some of us were worried about. It's surprising that it's not Red Ranger, to be honest, that they're doing a 2-pack with blue. Now, so we have the A Squad, which is awesome because we never got it, and we're getting another member of SPD. But the question is, are we going to get the rest of A Squad? And if so, how?
I'm down with it. I want it all. I'm so stoked for this.
No, I'm happy with the quality and the selections of both these packs. The Andros Astronomer one, I'll buy as soon as I'm able. Yep. This one, I want both these figures, but I'm a little nervous to buy it because I'm nervous that they're going to do this and then have like a GameStop exclusive of the red one and then put out a 5-pack to get the rest, like they did with the Psycho Rangers.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that situation again. So I might hold off on getting this one and either get it on clearance or wait and see what they do. That does look awesome, though.
Yeah, he looks great. I'm going to get this in hopes that Hasbro learned its lesson, even though I just went on a tangent where they apparently don't all the time.
I mean, what lesson do they learn? That they could sell stuff 2 or 3 times and we'll keep buying it because that's the lesson.
I mean, it's hard to say just because the Psycho Pack went recently, as of like yesterday, on like a discounted price. It went down to 70 from 100.
Right.
So I don't know, like, but that happens with a lot of Hasbro Amazon exclusives. So it's hard to say if that's a Hasbro thing or an Amazon thing.
Right.
But either way, I'm excited.
You're going to buy it and take your chances.
Yeah. Honestly, like of all the things that I've complained about and praised Hasbro for in the last 10 minutes or any other video, if I need to show them support, I will do it for A Squad, even if there's a potential for them to burn me on it, just because the fact that they even considered it is crazy to me.
Well, let me ask you this, going the other way, which isn't as bad, but let's say they put this A Squad 2-pack out and you never get another member of A Squad. How do you feel about that?
I'd be upset.
Would you be more upset if you only got this one or if you bought 2 or 3 and then you had to buy a whole pack to get the rest? Which would upset you more?
Say the second part again.
You got this one, and then maybe another one came out somewhere, and then a pack came out of the whole team. And the only way to get the whole team was to buy the pack after having all, like exactly like the Psycho situation.
Timing is the main factor of my upset level. If they spaced it within a couple years, sure. If they did it like they did Psychos, I'd be upset, but I'd still do it.
And again, that's what I'm very worried they're going to do.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not saying I won't get it. I'm not saying I don't want it, but I'm very cautious. And if possible, I want to get it on sale. But the Astronomer one, I'll buy immediately. That's yeah. All right. So that's it for this tab. So far, no new news, just us commenting on the news that we had not yet talked about.
Yeah.
Right. So next one, we're on Power Ranger PWR RNGR Power Ranger.
Yes. So right here, what this is meant to illustrate is we're, spoiler alert, going to get into some leaks. Or sorry, not leaks, rumors. So before we get into rumors, usually what we do on our show is we harken back to what's come out. But I found this page when I was looking up some of the tabs for us to use, and this has everything currently released as of right now.
Gotcha.
So we can look, and we can also see the pattern. So if you stop right here, we look at wave 1, 2, and then kind of where it gets muddied with the exclusives. We see a Mighty Morphin hero, a Mighty Morphin villain. You start off with Tommy, I get it. We get a Dino character in preparation for Beast Morphers. We get Tyler, very awesome. We get Shadow Ranger, unexpected, also very awesome. Going to the next one, we start getting Beast Morphers, great. Kimberly, sure. Magna Defender, totally unexpected, great figure. If you don't have it, go get it. It's one of the best in the entire line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Go down, we get to exclusives. Oh, we start to get Psycho Rangers again. That's cool. What could possibly go wrong with this? What would make me upset buying this Psycho Ranger?
These were all exclusives, right?
Correct. So, GameStop Goldar.
They were all GameStop except for Dragon Shield.
No, the 2-pack I don't believe was GameStop. I think it was Fan Channel.
Okay.
Yeah, Fan Channel, for those of you that don't know, means that it's in either online retailers or places like Best Buy and GameStop apply for it for whatever reason.
Maybe, if those are near you.
Yeah, like there's weird caveats, but it's mostly online. Is what it means.
Specialty shops, nerd stores, places like maybe a comic store, possibly.
I don't know. I haven't seen too many of these. To your point,
you're not going to find it in Target, But
correct. It's not going to be in Target and Walmart is mainly what it means. Sometimes not on Amazon.
And then those two were, and then this was the 2-pack that was from San Diego Comic-Con.
Correct, which I still think is one of their best exclusive uses that they've done.
It's not bad. I'll agree. And then this 2-pack, was this an exclusive? I don't remember.
I think it's also fan channel.
Fan channel. Okay. And then this was a Walgreens exclusive, Zach.
Yep. And then now we're back
wave.
to regular.
Okay. Now we're back to regular. So we got the reuse where they just took off the dragon shield and gave us a different head.
Yep.
And then we continue the Beast Morphers, continue Dino Charge because of the new season and the crossover.
Yep.
And the surprise Lord Draken from the comic.
Dude, still one of the, I have mine. Still one of the, oh no, I have the other Draken, which we'll get to. One of the best figures. So great. Just even on its own, just so awesome of a figure to have on. If you have anything Toku, get a Draken figure. Yeah, and just put it with what you have. He's just so awesome in every way.
Like the Legacy Collection one, which I still like enough that I've kept it, even though I've been getting rid of most of my Legacy Collection. He has the Tommy head. So that's also the corrupted old, whatever you want to call it, Tommy head.
I also think he just looks better and he's significantly cheaper. Like on everything you could think of, he wins other than being an exclusive.
No, I disagree. He's better on most. He wins overall. He wins more categories, but I think the original one, the gold and the edges on the armor were better. Like the paint and the cut. Like,
sorry, I slept at your not great reason to get the old one versus the new one.
I didn't say. I said the new one wins on most categories. You said
I know. I'm trolling you, Gazbot.
I wouldn't go out of my way to get an old one. But I have one and I've kept it. And the same with my Psychos. I've been getting rid of all my old Lightning collections. The only ones I've kept are the Psychos, Draken, and White and Green Ranger. And the reason is the same for all of them because the armor shield plating was done better in the Lightning collection.
Legacy,
sorry. And it covers up most of the musculature, which I don't like, but the armored ones, you don't see it as much. So, okay, but that's not what we're talking about. So, next wave.
We go down the line. We get another Zeo. We get SPD Red, very great figure. Blaze, very underrated figure. Love that. Again, just throw it with your Marvel Legends. Who cares? He's awesome.
He's great.
Make Fight Iron Man. I don't care. His little briefcase is awesome. He's great. That head is great for civilian use on whatever.
And like most of the Beast Morphers characters, the civilian head looks just like the actor.
Now, still don't have my Trini.
Really?
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem soon. They're kind of going.
No. I'm waiting. It hasn't come in. It's still pre-ordered from like.
You own a Trini, but it's not in your hands.
Correct.
Gotcha.
It still hasn't like come in from Big Bad. Like Big Bad's pushed it. I want to say like 9 months.
I have a Cara Dune figure like that where I'm like, am I still getting it eventually? I don't know.
Yeah. Now we get a reissue Zed and we get a Rita. Still don't have this. Gonna get it eventually.
I can't bring myself to buy that 2-pack unless it goes.
I know. I'm kind of. This is one of those where I'm spiteful and bad. I kind of hope that they single card Rita, but like if they don't, I'll be fine and pay the consequences later. But like
yeah, it's just it came out like either right before or right after the Psycho thing too. So it's just like. Another one of these, it was before Psycho, I think. But regardless,
yeah.
But then we got
this was around the time. Oh no, it's right before the Psycho pack because all these kind of blend together. They're like the next 3 rows are within like. 2 months.
This is also confusing too because these two and these two were a wave.
Correct.
Yeah, but they should be on the same line, but they're not.
Yeah, it's just going by 4s. But don't have Billy yet. Don't have Wes at all. Gonna get him eventually.
Really? That shocks me.
I haven't prioritized it is honestly the only reason.
Ranger Slayer, another amazing figure.
Yeah, not going to get that Trey, but I get it. Ranger Slayer's awesome.
Well, Trey's good because if you didn't get the exclusive pack, you didn't have Zeo Gold.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad they released him. I don't feel the need to get a second.
Right.
Which is odd for me to say if you've seen any of these videos. Cycle Green, I love.
Psycho Green, mine has a mess up on the paint. I contacted Hasbro about it, and they said, oh, we know things are being delayed getting shipped out, and blah, blah. I'm like, that's not even what I asked you. So I have no idea what's going to happen with that.
This Putty 2-pack I have, but haven't opened. Looks awesome. Don't have Sam yet, but we'll get him eventually.
That's Omega Ranger.
Yep.
Okay, that I do have, but I don't have the putty. But I have 2 putties from the Tommy pack, so I didn't feel the need to get them.
I forget how many I have total. I have at least 2 in the 2-pack box that I haven't cracked, and I'm debating on what to do with those. We'll see.
Well, I have 2, and then if anything, I'll get some Z putties. And just I don't mind mixing and matching my putties.
Yeah.
And then we both have the Psycho set. Mm-hmm. You have Alpha. Well, wait. Now we're just seeing what we have. What was the point of this? You're like, we're gonna get.
We're going through. We're getting there eventually. The Alpha set's great, by the way. If you don't have it, I tried to convince Gazbot in person to get it, and he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't need it.
It's great.
I'm not saying it's not great. When the Legacy collection started, I was like, I have to buy every one of these figures, and I did. And it ended, and this is going to sound like it, so I'm not going to do that again. But it's not that I'm bitter about. I was very upset that I had to rebuy certain figures, but they are better, so whatever. But I don't know. At some point back here, there was a figure or 2 I didn't need. Like I decided out of spite I wasn't going to get the Rita 2-pack.
Yeah.
And then I didn't need another Zeo gold just because it was Trey. And then
you didn't get the putties.
And then I was like, I don't need every figure, and I don't need the other Goldar. And then I just decided I'm still getting most of them, but I just realized I'm not a completionist. I don't need to get every figure in this line, and that's okay.
The only way I will get that Goldar is if he's like $6.
I will never get that Goldar.
I will get him on clearance, probably, maybe.
But why? I mean, the other one's better.
No, supposedly this one has like a better sword.
And the other one has wings, so that wins for me.
Yeah, the wings are great. I have mine open. I love it. I'm not getting rid of it. But, for those of you that don't have Dino Charge Black, he's recently gone back up on Target. If you haven't got him, so I found that out.
And the Psychos, like we said, are on sale, and also so is Zeo Red. Or
I don't know if they are anymore. It was time sensitive.
It was on sale yesterday.
Yeah, but it was like a lightning deal.
Oh, haha.
I know. Puns and unfortunate timing for those that didn't.
I still don't have In Space Yellow. I'm kind of waiting for her to go on sale.
Same.
But I didn't have MMPR. Nice. That sword is so good.
He is great.
I didn't have MMPR Black. It was the only one I was still missing. And I was starting to get worried because I saw the prices creeping up. But I found one the other day at retail, and I just bought it, which,
I need to at some point, but
the head
haven't
is
yet. Yeah, the head's not great. I don't know why they chose season 2, but hey,
Well, because the exclusive had season 1.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I appreciate that they gave us a different head, but the first head wasn't great, and this one's arguably worse.
Yeah, Hasbro lately on the face printing tech and head sculpts have had a lot of hot water, not just in Power Rangers, but there was a Mandalorian head recently that everybody is just memeing to death.
Well, it looks like what I've said about some of these Power Ranger headshots, especially the older ones, it looks like they took the promo shot from like day one of filming, and like that's the one they use. So it technically is correct, but it doesn't look like the character that we picture in our heads or the actor.
They'll do it where it's like this far away, and then like details that you can't see. Somebody like is like, I think it's this, and then you look, you're like, that's not right.
Yeah, well, but my theory on the Mandalorian is, and I don't want to give away too much, but I feel like they didn't look at the actor, they looked at the show. And the scene in the show where they would have drawn that reference from, it kind of does look like that. But it's weird. It's a weird scene to choose from. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's similar to like how, like I said, when I look at some of the Mighty Morphin cast, I can almost tell what pictures they took them from, but they're weird pictures to choose from.
Yeah. I just noticed Cat's not on here. The metallic pink.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe they just cut off when that happened. But anyways, other than her, this is current. So why are we here?
Yeah.
Why are we reminiscing about this? So now we're going to switch tabs and we're going to talk about the rumors of what's coming out. And then we're going to do my favorite thing of what do we want / things going to come out next. So right now, let's just get this out of the way. Okay. These are all seasons. We've already seen at least one character from, so there's finishing it out. I like it. We get a
so we're Toy Wizards now. So this is, again, rumors. This is not leaks.
Correct. And shout out to Toy Wizards, not just because we like them for personal reasons, but if you scroll down, the editor's note is really great. It's like, hey, these are rumors. That's why in the title it says rumors and not facts.
I'm looking.
No, it's at the very top.
Oh, you said scroll down.
Oh, my bad. It was like a slight scroll down.
Oh, right here.
There.
Yes.
Shout out to Scott Zillner. Thank you for putting that in there.
Who also is the person behind, among other things, Power Morphicon.
Yes. So right here, we got Lost Galaxy Red. Now, I don't like that they use this picture because it insinuates it's going to come with the cannon, which I don't think we're going to get.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'm mixed with this because if they're doing a single pack and it's exactly the same as what was in the 2-pack, then it's like, why? But if he comes with a new weapon, it's like, okay, but I don't want to rebuy him for a new weapon. So I'm all over the map with this. Like, it does insinuate, but that is, Hasbro didn't put this out. Toy Wizards put this out.
Correct, yeah. One thing, too, I don't think he's going to come with the Lights of Orion, for those of you asking. But it would be crazy if it did. Another thing I've found out is the original Lights of Orion accessory pieces fit on the Lightning Collection figure in case you have those or track them down. So
you just made them go up in value.
I did. eBay. The limited power I have. Oh, there it went. So that's cool that it's re-released. This is what I'm talking about. This was enough time to wait to re-release this since the pack.
It doesn't bother me that much. This doesn't bother me as much as the Psychos is the thing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is a reasonable amount of time where even if they gave him a new weapon, I'm not upset because I go, you know what? I've had the other figure for a while. I've got to play with it. I've got to love it. And now you give me another option that I can take or leave. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm also okay with this. Doesn't bother me as much as a lot of the other ones do.
Yeah. Scrolling on down, Dino Thunder Blue, cool. Please give him a shield.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Please give him a shield because that would make this figure for me. If I get that giant Triassic shield or not Triassic shield, that's the power up. Whatever his Triceratops
would
shield.
Would you rather that, or would you rather he has spikes that could clip on or fold out? Really? So I'd rather have the spikes.
I know you would, and I think it's a goofy power up that I don't love, and I'd rather have the weapon. I
think in the show, often because of the material they're made out of, they look wobbly and the prop wasn't done well. But I think the concept is cool. Yes. And so if it was on the figure, it would look fine. It wouldn't look wobbly.
I prefer the shield because I think it's awesome.
Well, we're probably not going to get either one based on the way.
I think we're getting the shield because it came with the staff for Connor.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Okay, fair. Oh,
Ninja Steel.
Wait a minute. Going back to Ninja Steel, going back to the list we just looked at, it didn't have Connor on that list. So it must have stopped.
Technically aren't out yet.
Okay, but they've been announced and the pictures have been shown. And
so the one new figure, for those of you that don't know, is Connor, Dino Thunder Red. They also have re-released a Putty, but this time a Z-Putty. And they've re-released White Ranger, and they've given us a Green Ranger without the metallic stripe on his head. Hey!
Quick tangent. Coming out like very soon, if not already out, is also the special wave that Target's having. What do they call it? Oh, I already forgot.
I don't remember, but it's a different box that looks
It's a different box. It's the current wave that is going to be coming out or has theoretically come out of the figures we just said in a different box. Identical figures, identical accessories. The box isn't even that crazy. It's not like what Star Wars is like. It's vintage or holographic. It's just like slightly different background to the art.
It's shiny and metallic.
Okay. But it's not as much of a difference as you would usually see. So to me, it's like, if I happen to see that one, maybe let's see, but I open my toys anyway, so I would probably want to leave it for somebody else. Like,
here's the thing though, when you got the first edition Star Wars white packs, you didn't open those.
That's correct. And I ended up selling them.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So I think similar, you and I, knowing what we know, would get it if we never saw it, try to find another one, and then get rid of the metallic one.
I have no interest in them whatsoever. If it's a figure I wanted, like if it was Connor and I'm like, okay, I want this figure and it happened to be in that packaging, I would get it. I wouldn't open it in case you wanted to trade or somebody I know wanted that box. But if the box ended up not being hard to get, nobody cared, I would just open it. Like, because I would be
if that's the case. But we would both speculate. For this instance, we'll just use Connor because that's the one we both want.
Sure.
If we found that one first, we would get it and not open it immediately, though.
Correct.
Which, to their point, is making that part of the marketing work on us speculating on a special edition box, which is the dumbest thing ever. But
well, no,
whatever.
but if they had all 4 of them, I would not get all 4 of them because I don't want the figures. I would just get Connor and maybe the Z Putty, even if they had the whole set. I think we get the whole set because you're.
So here's the thing. I don't know if I would get the whole set, especially now, but I might get a Tommy if I ever wanted to get it signed later.
Okay, sure. I guess what I'm saying though is it's weird to me considering what Hasbro does with Star Wars, Marvel Legends, everything else. They do a lot more when they do these variants, and they go more deluxe with the packaging, and usually the figure is slightly different. So
or another accessory or something.
So it just is not tempting to me at all. To me, it's sort of like I happen to get a different package as opposed to something to hunt down.
Yeah.
But scrolling down for the rumors, the next one,
SPD Pink, all about it. First girl ranger in a while that wasn't Ranger Slayer.
She is. We need more girl rangers. I'm into SPD right now, but she might be my least favorite member of the team. It was blue, but he's kind of redeemed himself a little bit.
It's between yellow and pink for me.
I like yellow way better than pink. Her character's a little inconsistently written, but her basic premise, I like her as being this sort of underdog, champion of the people, kind of just like her and Jack. Like I like where they were coming from. Pink, I think Pink has yet to undergo her arc where I like see the other side of her. You know what I mean?
Aesthetically, I more often than not prefer pink Rangers over yellow Rangers. Just like
yes, I think the pink and the black is very striking. It's a cool looking figure.
Yeah,
and I want all of them. If it was me, I'd want green next, but I would take yellow over pink. But I'll take any SPD they want to give me at this point.
Yep.
And then Power Rangers Zeo Green.
I'm actually pretty stoked on this one.
Me too, but mainly for the Atom head more than anything else.
Yes. Also, please give us his axes, because if you goof again and don't give us the Ranger weapon, I will also be upset, like what you do with Rocky and his weird caveman head.
Here's what they need to do is they need to put Rocky's weapon in this package. Yeah.
You need to put Rocky's weapon with Tanya or Kat.
Oh, to help boost the sales of the female figures that might not. Okay, fine. But put it in another package like we've seen done in other, more high-end companies where they're like, oh, we came up with a new head. We'll throw it in with this other figure. Here's a new Darth Vader head you get with the Luke Skywalker. Like, I have no problem with that stuff. But yeah, if they do everybody but Rocky, that's in a way worse.
Yeah. They also,
Iron CNSP Man on one of the social media pointed out early media that Rocky was supposed to come with those weapons. Like pictures they Hasbro showed his weapon, and then we never got it.
One thing I will say, because they did this with Transformers, and I'm not saying I want them to do this all the time because it'd be a pain, but if you had to, I get it. On Hasbro Pulse, they had a repaint of a figure they had. It was like a generic looking Transformer. It was gray, but the reason you bought it, it was $30. You get that Transformer, let's say it's $20, but you get all of these alternate weapons and effects parts that are G1 to all of these other characters that they either are releasing or have released. I'm like, okay, if you did something like that where it's like, they
did that with Ninja Turtles. Nika did too recently.
Yeah, they did. If you did like, here's a Crybot and all of these SWAT pieces for SPD, it's like, okay, you sold me.
And then in that you throw in like whatever, like, oh, we forgot Rocky's weapons, so we'll throw that in here.
Oh, we had this other head sculpt we never made, but here you go. Like, if
here's
you
another painted weapon for the white Dino Dino Thunder. Yeah. All right. So what's this? This next tab is also Toy Wizards.
Before that, so we're not going to that yet. So we're looking. So we have all the series that have some pieces next. We're going to do two things, and we're not going to take as long as we usually do. What we're first going to do, 40 minutes. What we're first going to do is that was Wave 8 rumors. Yes. We're going to do what we think will happen for Wave 9. What
we
makes
usually spend an hour doing this.
I know. I'm going to make sure I'm holding us accountable. We're going to.
Also, I didn't know we were doing this, so I haven't even.
Time out. We're doing Lightning Collection, Lightning Round, Wave 9, Gazbot, Big Dog, Action Activate, Thoughts.
So just 4.
Correct. We're going to go one for one.
Basic figures.
Yeah, just Lightning Collection figures. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go one for one who we think would be in the next one, and if we got to, bend the rules a little bit, who we would want, but still be able to justify it, not be like, I want Antonio in his armor because I love Samurai. No, that probably wouldn't happen. If you said regular Antonio, okay, sure, maybe. I'm going to start. I think in the next wave, we are going to get Steel.
I agree.
You're just going to agree with all four of mine, aren't you?
Well, wait, are we supposed to each come up with all four? Like, you didn't explain how we're doing
So
this.
now you pick one. You
okay.
happen to agree
Am
with
I
mine,
picking
but
4, or are we going 1, 2, 3, 4 between the two of us? Okay. I think they're going to do another RPM, or they're going to do an RPM, but they're going to not start with red. They're going to start with black and do Dylan.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
A la SPD Doggy Kruger, a la Lost Galaxy Magna Defender. I think they're just going to go for a cool looking character, and that'll be how they'll start RPM.
I could see that. I honestly think, though, visually, we love Dylan because we've seen the show. I think visually to, the everyman, I think Ziggy's costume actually looks better. It pops more.
If you said Gem or Gemma, I would agree. But Ziggy, I love Ziggy, but his costume doesn't look cool at all.
But we've had 2 Green Rangers.
What does that have to do with anything?
Trying to balance out the colors, maybe? I don't know.
The casual fan does not care about that.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm going with the theory of, if you've never seen Power Rangers, you'd go, look at that cool black wolf looking guy. Who's he?
I guess. Okay. Next, I would say we're going to get Coda.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I agree. Okay, so we got I think your picks are a lot safer than mine. I was trying to think. You're going with the ones that are very, very likely, and I was like, well, they always throw in a wild card, so I was trying to guess.
I've done at least like series they've started.
I'm gonna say we're not doing exclusives, so my idea would probably be an exclusive, so I'll skip that. This is hard now. Not what I want. And you, is there now let me think, is there another Mighty Morphin they could pull in somehow?
If they wanted to go more metallic armor.
But that would be an exclusive, because I was thinking they could do yellow and have it be Tanya, but that would be
Aisha?
Or Aisha, sorry, Aisha, but that would be an exclusive probably. So that was my guess, but that won't fit. So I still left that other tab open to see what they started.
Ooh, I know what I'm going for next.
It could be maybe Dino Thunder Yellow.
Okay.
Dino Thunder Yellow.
I was going to we'll do 6 just because we have a lot of overlap where we agree. 6 total, not 6 per person.
Okay.
I'm going to say Corone.
That's a good one. Yeah. And I will say Ecliptor. Oh, we need a villain. We need a villain, and they're going.
But he's got to be deluxe though. You gotta think
he's like regular size. He's like Magna Defender size. He has a cape and a sword.
Maybe.
And I know that's a little bit of like wish fulfillment, but again, they're doing in space, and they have been pulling those just cool looking characters, like we've said. So I think yours are a little bit safer than mine, but I don't think I'm crazy with my picks.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're each gonna have 2 picks. We can't have the other person's pick. This is a wave that we're going to make, but we have to be able to justify it, and we both have to agree that the pick is reasonable.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
Casey from Jungle Fury. It's a Red Ranger, and it's a Disney era we haven't done, and he's the best Red Ranger.
I was going to say RJ, so we definitely can't have both. But yeah, that's fine.
RJ I could see, but I feel like they like having Red Rangers, so that's why I went with Casey.
So I honestly think I want to agree with you because I agree that it's a great season. I don't know that they would jump into the Disney era again, but I could be totally wrong. I honestly could see them doing... Is SPD
the only one they've done?
Yes.
No.
Pull that tab open.
I closed it.
Fuck. Darn. 44 minutes. In case you're wondering. So, what was I going to say?
You're falling off the screen here, buddy.
Oh yeah. So, I honestly was going to say Turbo Red. Just because we haven't had Turbo yet. Or we could say Justin.
You think they'd go with Justin first in Turbo? That's risky. He has his fans, but he also has his detractors. I think Turbo Red makes sense because it's also Tommy or TJ, depending on how you look at it. I think let's say Turbo Red and switch Casey to RJ.
Let's see. I guess you're
Now
next.
it's my turn again.
Yeah.
Super Mega Force pink.
Okay.
Because even though Super Mega Force isn't the most popular season, Gokaiger is. Those suits are cool, and the yellow and pink actresses from those seasons have like a pretty good fan base just based on who they are.
Pink or yellow? I think yellow would be more likely than pink.
I think you're right that yellow is more popular, the actress, at least, like, not that it's a popularity contest, but unfortunately it kind of is. But I agree with you that I think pink looks better, and I think the casual fan would be more inclined to pick up a pink than a yellow.
I would argue yellow just because she's in both fighting games right now.
Is she as super mega or regular mega?
Super.
All right, we'll go yellow then. Fine.
Okay. So Sierra Hannah, fingers crossed for you. God, who's the last one? We already have a 6 Ranger in. I guess we don't have
6 and a red and a female. And
I'm trying to think if there's a villain that's like, I don't want to say easy enough for them to do. Oh, all right. Oh, no, we already did Turbo. I don't know if we could get away with 2. I was going to say Divatox.
No. 2 Turbo and 2 female.
I know. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, I want a Divatox, but that's a different.
Oh,
wait a minute. Hold on. This is supposed to be the one of things we want.
Yeah. But we have to be able to justify it.
I don't need a Super Mega Force figure. I rescind that completely. I've got the whole team in SH Figure Arts. I don't need that figure. I forgot what we were doing. I do want an RJ figure or a KC figure. Okay, so let me rescind that, and then I will turn it into Divatox. No, I can't because we already have a Turbo. I'm going to take a villain slot.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Babu. It's Mighty Morphin.
No, I know. I was so I'll be honest. I was thinking that, and it's honestly one of those things that they could totally do it or never do it. Like, there's no in between.
I agree, but they are going to want to keep a Mighty Morphin presence for as long as they can.
No, I get that. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm hopeful for that. There's so many things that Hasbro's been doing where I'm like, I don't know. All comes down to me.
So we got Turbo Red, RJ from Jungle Fury, and
I realize
Babu.
I have the list in front of me. So they've done Mighty Morphin, Dino Charge, SPD, Beast Morphers, In Space Villains, Lost Galaxy, Zeo, Time Force. Oh, Jen.
Wait, isn't she already rumored to be coming out? Or
I don't care. I'm picking Jen now.
Okay, yeah, no, I would definitely go with that, but I think she's already coming out, or at least heavily rumored to be coming out.
We've seen a lot of rumor lists so the thing that we've learned, just to touch upon the rumors in general, almost every rumor we've read, those figures have come out sometime after.
Yeah.
The thing that throws a curveball now is a lot of previous lists that we've had have been mixed up either on purpose or just because the information was leaked and interpreted.
Or because of the state of the world right now. Things got mixed up too. I think a lot of these repaints and re-releases are because of production schedules.
Yeah, the last wave I think was the biggest departure from the rumors lists we've seen.
And yeah. But I've heard, like, not from confirmed sources, but from a lot of people that it's like, yeah, because they couldn't make new figures, but they could re-release figures with slightly different paint or whatever.
True.
And so to keep it going. We don't have a ton of time left, so let's hop back into the screens.
Yeah. So Super 7, a company that Gazbot is a lot more invested in than me simply because they're mostly known for their Masters of the Universe figures.
And Thundercats at this point too.
Oh yeah, Thundercats. That was the other one I was forgetting. They also have a TMNT line, but it's in its infancy.
They've got a lot going on, actually. They've been around for a really long time. They used to be primarily known for designer toys and T-shirts and things, but they're becoming a much bigger player with action figures, like strip action figures, the last couple of years.
Yeah. They also, which is what we're about to talk about, have a vintage 5 points of articulation
reaction
line.
Is what they call it.
Reaction. Thank you. Mezco's the one who does 5 points, I think is what they actually call it.
Yeah. Their line started with Aliens based on the old Kenner designs. When Aliens came out in the 70s, they were going to make toys for kids. Then they said, oh, this is like a horror movie. That won't work. And Super 7's like, we're going to make these now for adults. But that formula became so popular that other companies are using it. and Super 7, I'm not sure if they licensed it out or how that worked, but Super 7 has retained some rights to use that format, I guess. But this is the reaction line, which is the same as their Alien line, is all I'm saying.
So I'll be honest. I want these.
Why?
I don't want to pay because they're awesome and I love on-card
retail
stuff like
$18?
Yeah, that's the
I
problem.
feel like the other ones didn't cost this. Weren't they like...
No, because you showed me the Transformers ones they have out now, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this might be, hard to get. Do you want it? I was like, A, no, I don't. B, they're too expensive. C, thank you for asking.
I thought it was expensive because it was an exclusive, like that specific one.
Nope, they're just pricey.
It's weird because when it comes, like, I don't collect any of these. I don't think I have any. But I get it for Aliens or Back to the Future or properties that were out in the 70s and 80s, because this is like what the toys looked like then. So it's like, oh, if Back to the Future had figures, this is what they would look like. Power Rangers in the 90s had 90s style figures. That is what they would look like.
But here's the thing. Some people outside of us have just 375 collections. That's why Boss Fight Studios is so popular. That's why Vitruvian Hacks is such a popular line. That's why there's more companies doing these.
A Power Rangers fan that doesn't have Power Ranger figures that has been waiting for this scale?
Let me answer your question with a question. Are you saying there's Power Ranger fans that would buy multiple versions of the same character at different scales?
That absolutely. But you were presenting it as though there are fans that would not buy a different scale figure.
I'm presenting it as there are people who would specifically buy these because they're 375.
Okay. The Megazords are the most interesting part to me. Because
the 375 version or the vinyl?
Yeah, the 375. Not that I want it, but like I can see just getting that and putting it like on my desk or something, not being part of a collection, but it's just like a neat little robot. Maybe the monsters too, like Pudgy Pig, somebody like that. And again, I probably won't get them, but if it was on sale, I could see impulse buying it. But the actual Ranger figures, I'm okay passing. But you're right that people buy multiples. But why do you want them?
Part of me would want it to keep it on card. I have a handful of figures that are on card that I like that. Also, like the price point's what's deterring me, but I could easily see, like, right now I have a much smaller desk for work than I used to. And I could easily see clearing off some of the stuff I have now and putting this with it. Because, like, one of the things I have on my desk, for those of you who don't know, I haven't read the book yet. I probably will eventually. I just haven't. But I love the movie Ready Player One. And Ready Player One
is very different, just so you know.
Yes, I know. I have what Funko came out with, the 375 4-pack of most of the main characters exactly like this. And I would love to see Parzival next to a Red Ranger and just square up on there, or a Tommy. Like, that would be awesome. Those are great desk pieces.
Yeah,
like
I will say this. They have the retro articulated flip head figures coming out too. I think these are better than those. Those I think are worse because I just think they're really ugly figures. But they're like, going back to what I was saying, is like that's like the 90s figure with that kind of bulky aesthetic, and they're not improving it. I mean, they're making it a little bit more articulated, but it's just like making it work.
The joints are better. They're ball joints as opposed to just
the
floppy.
They're better, but like it doesn't have the nostalgia. Like you don't get the nostalgia, and it's not a modern figure. This one is old, but at least it'll look like a streamlined, nice figure. I don't want it, but it looks nice. Those ones just look horrible, and I don't know what the price point is. Maybe it's a little bit less, but
I think they're less than these, which is the problem for this line.
But they do have Rita and some villains, which is nice. And a Putty. But you were also talking about this down here. They call this Super Cyborg Vinyl. And this is, I think they've done a few of these, right? They've
done a lot of these, yeah. So they've done it for Transformers. They've done it for Star Wars. This is another one where I'd love to see what that vinyl looks like as a potential standalone piece.
Yeah, I mean, this interests me more. Like, I think it's a more interesting concept. This goes back to more when they do like what I consider designer toys. It's $75. It's probably not that posable. It's more of like an art piece almost. And that's cool. And I like that you can see the Rangers on the chest. It's like a little different thing. No interest in it personally, though.
What I will say, whether or not this line does great or terrible or in between, the fact that I am questioning my kind of like want or need for this, where they've had these different licenses with these figures in this line.
Reaction again?
Correct. Yeah. They've had multiple things for this line, and I've never been like, maybe. Right now, I'm like, is this the property where you get me? I know you and I were talking the other day, same concept, different company. Mezco in their 5 points line have Ultraman. How
Right.
cool would it be to have Ultraman and Red Ranger and just have those be on your desk is like the little thing. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, there's.
I see how it's appealing to you, but I'm fine.
No, you are a stronger man than I, and I commend you on it. I'm
no,
saying,
part of it is scale, though. Ultraman next to Red Ranger? Come on. That's silly.
what if it was anime Ultraman?
I'm not. That's a human-looking figure in armor. It's a totally different thing.
But it scales. Anyways.
And actually, the original Ultraman can size change, but it's just whatever. Yeah, I'm a stronger man than you. Fine.
Moving on. We have one more tab. This one should be shorter. We've talked about this before, but this is going a little more in depth and having better pictures. They're putting out a die-cast, posable, multiple accessories, articulated, SOC kind of competitor, stylized Shogun Zord.
And it's called Metal Powers, the company, I guess.
Yes. So if the all-plastic Zeo Zord is $75, what do you think this is going to retail for?
Well, this is not Hasbro, to be clear. This is a different company.
I think it's sub-licensed under Hasbro, though.
Okay. Oh, that'll up the price then. So this is, how much of it is metal? Do we know?
If the article says it, it is so. If it doesn't, we can assume that anything that looks metally is metal. I think a good chunk of it is metal. I'm not going to read the
article right now, but 8 hands, 1 spear, 1 sword. A good chunk of it's metal. It's posable but not transformable. What I think it should cost is like $120.
Same.
Do we know what it costs?
No. That's part of it. That frustrated me is it doesn't say. But I did bring another thing. So when I saw this, there was one Megazord that popped in my mind that I immediately am going to compare it to. And it is the Wild Force Sword. Okay. This has die-cast. This is, from my understanding from shout out MMPR Toys, this is exactly the same for the American and the Japanese except for packaging.
Yeah.
The Japanese had some other variants, but this sword specifically, everything's the same. It's got good posability overall for, what you want out of a Zord. It's got a good gimmick. You can hear those ratchets even, 20 years later. This retailed for like $40 or $50, I think. Now you can get it, I think 100, maybe 120. Do I think that new Zord, especially being stylized, is, something I need to go alongside this? I don't know. Am I going to pay retail for that Megazord? Absolutely not. Would I get it on sale? Possibly. I think the stylization, unfortunately, is hurting it as opposed to helping it right now.
I agree. Especially, this is one of my favorite Zords of all time. I've never sat down and done the real ranking, but this would be right near the top. I have the Legacy Collection version, which I love. So that protects me to a certain extent. Like, do I need another one? Yeah. But I'm also a big fan of screen accuracy or anime accuracy. I want it to look like the thing.
Yeah.
This isn't such a departure that I'm like, it's terrible. And if I didn't have a version, I might be tempted. But I prefer the version I have up there to this. I think it would have to be an actual SOC for me to consider swap. Because like I had the Legacy Collection Megazord and I swapped it. Well, not swapped it, but I got the SOC, and that'd be the only thing that could probably make me possibly switch. So I am not the target market for this, but if it costs more than $100, $125, I think it's going to be a hard sell for a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool. It sucks that like this is probably them testing the waters for this kind of thing, and I'm so worried that it's going to fail before it has a chance to succeed. And that's what sucks is like they put this out and they're like, well, we would have made, and then they just like show these CAD models and you're like, oh, I would have loved this kind of dynamic motion for the Jungle Fury Megazord or for the Q-Rex or something.
Right.
And it's kind of one of those things that kind of gives me deja vu of the Legacy Collection, where there's some things that were hits and others that weren't. And then they're like, well, we were going to make the 2 female Psychos and we didn't. And we were going to make a Ninja Steel figure and we didn't.
Well, I thought the reason they didn't make the Psychos was because they were losing the license. That was because they literally had like solicitations for them.
Yeah. But I'm saying like they showed us all this stuff. Well, also, without going on that side tangent, Bandai had a plethora of problems for releasing stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Hasbro's definitely solved that for the most part, except for Hasbro Pulse, which I understand is a completely other issue.
You had one other tab here, but it looks like it's not Power Rangers.
That was if we had time, but we can skip that.
Yeah, we're pretty much, this is wrap up time. I don't think we're going to talk about comics either, to be honest.
One quick thing. Thanks for bringing it up. So this issue came out last week, Mighty Morphin #1. It takes place after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 55, which is then the end of that main series and the start of Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. They're 2 split series. One's going to be about the Mighty Morphin team. One's going to be about the Omega Rangers. So the big elephant in the room, which I think Gazbot knows, so this isn't really a spoiler, is we have
one shot.
We have somebody right there. We have a Green Ranger. Shout out to Bat in the Sun. This is their design. It's now canon in the comics. But we also have White Ranger, which is Tommy. So the big question on everybody's mind is, hey, who's this Green Ranger? Now, without going too spoilery, because Gazbot hasn't read the comics.
And some of our viewers also may not have read.
Yeah. So I'm going to do some loose spoiler-free speculation. So I think that this is a character that has never been a Ranger. I think that seeds were planted throughout previous Power Ranger series. And I think right now, Gazbot, if you hold your ears for 10 seconds starting now.
No.
What?
Because I'm going to have to edit this. You can't say anything in this, and then I won't. You can't say anything. I will hear it. I told you this going in. You said you want to talk about comics. I'm like, if you could do it without any spoilers, fine. You said, yes, I can. Not, and I go, la, 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 and somehow don't see it when I'm putting the video together.
All right. Well, I'm going to say who I think it is. It's not spoiling anything because it's 100% speculation.
I don't know. I'm going to mute you right now.
What?
All right. Go ahead. Say who you think it is. I'll keep you muted. Oops. Sorry. Hold on. I keep unmuting you.
Do you trust that I will not spoil for you?
What's that?
Do you trust that I will not spoil for you?
No.
Why?
Because you're going to guess somebody, and it's going to be based on comics you've read that I haven't read. It could be a character that
I could say the name. No, you've already met this character, so it's not a spoiler. Thus, you not trusting me.
Yes. Well, no, I trust you not to have ill intent. I don't trust your gauge being the same.
No, I need you to trust me. I'm not spoiling anything bad for you. I'm going to say one thing, and
you're going to say your guess.
Correct. With no context after. I'm going to say my guess, and
I'm going to let you say it because for the sake of the audience, they're going to be annoyed if you don't. But I just want you to know I'm not happy about this, and I wish you weren't doing this.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to potentially upset you. I think it is Matt, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But
well, we've been action activate.
If you guys have anything to say comics-wise, put it in the comments. If you have anything to say toys-wise, put it in the comments. If you have anything that you would like us to do or talk about during, this whole rest of the Beast Morpher season, put it in the comments.
What if they want to talk about anything else? Should they put it else? Everything seems to be going in the comments. All these categories filter into the comments.
Or follow us on Facebook as well, because we sometimes post things on there and have conversations on there for those that do it there. Shout out to those of you who comment regularly. Yeah. But I have been the Big Dawg Defender.
Well, I've been Mr. Gazbot.
And to the power.
To the power. Now, this time, I'm going to actually do end credits.
Woo woo!
We're so far away from each other.
Using the force. All right, that's it.